Well, after the Swift kicking the balls, known as the draft chat, we march on here. I pointed out the AL West before. You guys are in a very competitive division right now. So we'll keep an eye on that. I'm not going to make the playoffs anytime soon. In terms of contract extensions, there are some decisions to make. Obviously, you're going to look to keep Leon Duarte. That's a no-brainer. Jeff Adams at first base, you might as well keep, even if he's just never decided to make it. He's a serviceable enough backup first baseman. You might as well keep him. Gavin Lux is the interesting one. He's 31 years old. You guys didn't get any trade offers. I don't know what the hell is going on with the lack of trade offers for our teams. We haven't gotten any, even though, you know, on the trade block, you must have to pick positions of need. You must not be able to just pick players, which is weird that you wouldn't just get random trade offers anyway. I don't understand. You've developed Gavin Lux into a good player. He's gone up 6 overall points since you signed him over the last 3 years. The question is, do you pay him $14 million or so? Do you pick $14 million or so at this point? See, I understand when a trade block wouldn't be working now, but it's also very weird that we wouldn't get any trade offers without the trade block being active, right? You'd think those offers would still go through. So what you guys typically offer somebody, it would be expensive if you try to bring them up to age 35 with that club option. It would be a little bit pricey. So yeah, 4 years with a club option, not looking like a great option at 17 mil. You could go that way. You could go 2 years. Oh, man. The club option wasn't even hurting that much because he wants term. You're looking at 17 mil regardless for Gavin Lux. That's just the situation. So we'll come back to that. There was John Slaughter at third base. You still got him under arbitration time, so there's no reason to not sign him for relatively cheap. Hancock wasn't yours. Miles Naylor is yours. You could also wait to sign Lux until the end of the season so you know the full scope of the situation. Tyrone Taylor wants to be overpaid, but you do have Marcus Weber, who could be ready next year. So, I mean, probably not worth paying Taylor $2 million to stick around. So, especially when like Floyd Horton's got to be on that major league roster. Anybody else who's a guarantee? Loaizaga is dirt cheap. So, Loaizaga is the type of player that we just allow that freaking backloaded 15-year deal to keep him. Let me know if you don't want to do this, but you might as well just keep the guy, right? Any disagreements? You might as well just keep the guy, right? Keep him around for dirt cheap for the rest of his career. Any disagreements? Going once. Going twice. All right. Michael Fulmer is falling off quite a bit, though. He's probably going to retire at the end of the year. And Soriano. Harmon, you got to keep. And Howie Elliott is yours to keep as well. So, yeah, the big question is just Gavin Lux. If you want to wait until the end of the year to sign him, just to see what the money situation's like, that wouldn't be the worst choice on your part. Wilmer Flores. I am going to look to keep Wilmer Flores, but I don't exactly want to pay him $4 million. Trade Finder's now closed because we're beyond the deadline, so it would have to be in the off season. But yeah, we could. Yeah, well then again, his deal would be up, and you wouldn't be able to trade him at that point. So, how much money can I save on Wilmer? 3.5's not bad. Felipe Casillas, Eugenio. I'll overpay Eugenio Suarez. I'll overpay Gio as well. Just because I don't want to lose my depth that I have. Edmund Cervantes. Got to hold on to you. Austin Jordan. Got to hold on to you. I don't care if you don't want to be locked into a contract that long. You're fucking gonna be. Erod. I'll overpay to keep you too. Yusei Kikuchi. Wants to be drastically overpaid to stay. So, yeah, we can wait until the end of the season. For now, the big question is, does chat, funnily enough, push for a playoff spot? Shut up, Oasis. Does chat, funny enough, push for a playoff spot? 60 and 75. Looks like the answer to that's going to be no. Merman at 41 and 94. So. And now Wonderwall. All right, let's see. Let's see who the call-ups end up being as we get through the rest of this season. 2029. Oh, boy. Yeah, I could have sworn trade offers would come through even if you didn't have the block set up, and there were 0 rando trade offers. But, I mean, neither of us got trade offers, so at least one side didn't get an advantage over the other. So, chat, a big step forward for the A's at 74 and 88. Close, but not close enough to make the playoffs. The Mermen, 52 wins on the year. Before we talk about the playoffs, let's look at some numbers here. For your position players, both Soto and Vladdy just under 200 hits. 46 home runs for Juan Soto, 35 for Vladdy, and 28 for Spencer Steer. Vladdy and Soto both broke 110 RBI. And in terms of, I mean, they were outrageous. You want the reason as to why you almost made it, it's those two. Like, they're in their prime, the tail end of their prime, and they did really, really well. 15 wins for the rookie, Matthew Harmon. He might have won Rookie of the Year. Jim David with 13. Not great to see Cecil Perez have fewer victories than those three. 181 strikeouts for Cease, though. 177 for Jim David, man. What a pickup that was for you guys. What a pickup. In terms of my Mermen, 156 hits for Rengifo, 28 home runs. Gleyber Torres had an off year compared to what he's been doing for me. Unfortunately. 83 RBIs for both Contreras and Rengifo. 35 steals for Kim. 810 OPS for Gleyber Torres. I mean, yeah, you guys definitely did well. In terms of the pitchers, the winningest was Luis Garcia with 8. Also had 15 losses, though. So, not ideal. Let's take a look at the awards for the year. Your National League MVP goes to Ozzy Albies. Can't necessarily disagree with that based off the numbers. Your AL MVP is Corey Seager again, just out-dueling Juan Soto, but I mean, 139 RBI is outrageous. Cy Young winner in the AL, Taj Bradley. Sorry, I was very caught off by Luzardo with 200 strikeouts, but 221 for Bradley is outrageous. The National League Cy Young winner, Shane Bieber. Yeah, makes sense based on those numbers. NL batting title goes to Stephen Kwan of the Dodgers. AL batting title to Yordan Alvarez. Vladdy was third. Reliever of the year, Emmanuel Clase, for the second time in 3 years. Gotta be honest, I would have gone with Edwin. ERA is higher, but 20 more strikeouts, 3 more saves. National League, it goes to Michael Kopech. 49 saves, 49. Yeah, I mean, 49 saves. Yeah. Rookie of the year, Leodalis DeVries. For the Padres. Fair enough. AL Rookie of the Year, Fernando Cruz, as Matt Harmon was top 3. Cruz was up there. Baltimore, though. Hank Aaron Award winners Juan Soto for the second year in a row, and Riley Green. Playoffs this year, you got the Angels and Mariners, Yankees and Royals, Guardians and Astros. On the other side, Padres, Mets, Dodgers, Cardinals, Reds, and Braves. Let's see what happens in the playoffs. As the Angels move on, the Yankees move on, Padres and Dodgers. That whole trade offer thing is so weird to me, though. Not a single random trade offer. Guardians advance, Yankees advance, Reds and Braves both advance. Anybody but the Yankees. The World Series. Yes, Guardians and Braves. Braves up 2-0. The Atlanta Braves have won the 2029 World Series, sweeping the Cleveland Guardians. Jonathan India, World Series MVP. It's at least 3 straight World Series to the National League as well. Jonathan India, World Series MVP. Let's take a look at the Braves roster. Didn't have to go far. Spencer Strider's still there. Albies, right? Yeah. No shit, they won. That's a hell of a team. That is a hell of a team, isn't it? Yep. Makes sense. It all makes sense. 2029, what an interesting year it was. It's all over but the crying, though, as we move on. Crying from this guy because of that draft. John Gray, Mike Yastrzemski retired. I lost Yusei Kikuchi. That's fine. He was going to look for way too much money. Any Hall of Famers in 2029? No. Jesus Christ. The Hall of Fame, like, stringency. What the hell? For you guys, all right, there are some things to worry about here. First and foremost, you have a club option on Dylan Cease. He'd only get paid $17 million next year. That's cheap. And based on his 4 years with your team, there is no reason to not take that. I mean, look at his numbers over the last 4 years. He's, you take up that option. Gavin Lux wants a little bit less money now. I mean, he's down around 14 mil. He's now 32 years old. So, I mean, if you go 3 years, 3 years to bring him up to 35, or technically a 2+1 wouldn't be the worst in the world. You'd still have plenty of surplus. If you were to roll with a 2+1, the max you could get him in terms of interest, it does cap out around 19 million. Ooh, 19 million a year. Jesus. So that option is just not an option. Even then, he refuses to go max interest for you guys. So I mean, you might be able to get him, but he's not going to come cheap. He wants term, and he wants to get paid. I think Dimma is probably onto something with the qualify offer. If he comes back for the year, cool. You try to trade him. Qualifying offer would be $23 million. And if he doesn't come back, you'll get compensation for losing him in free agency. So you're going to have to pay him regardless, but at least if he were to go in free agency, you'd get compensation. So, all right, qualify seems to be the word for Gavin Lux. There you go. Tyrone Taylor. 2.3 million is a bit. However, he's a veteran. If you guys want, I'll allow you to do the 15-year backloaded deal just to keep him around. Got no issue with that. Honestly, if you just want to keep him around just to have some roster depth, especially because you just lost Yastrzemski, I'll let you do the 15-year backload just to keep him for cheap. Yeah, I mean, he'll be, what, 600K, 500K for like the next year or two until he retires. Pretty much no reason to not go for it, but if you're adamant on letting him go, then we can let him go. It's your team. But I mean, again, I'd keep him to make your minor league teams a bit better and try to boost up other prospects, but all good. Chat wants to let him go. JP Crawford, you have a team option, 4.4 mil. Probably the right time to decline that. Did still have a 747 OPS. I don't know if he'd take less than 4.4 mil. There's no reason not to keep Taylor. I agree, but we're overruled. All right, so decline for JP. He's willing to take about 2 mil. Maybe closer to 3. Just under 3 mil for the year. Or do you want to let him go too? That'll be the question there. And then Michael Fulmer, Gray, and Hancock, and I'll just go because they're terrible. What do you guys think about JP Crawford? And Tyrone Taylor, let me know. I got my own players to worry about. Oh, Kim is starting to fall off. There is no way I'm paying you $23 million. No shot. Yeah, that's a bit better, buddy. Finances were in the bottom left. You guys have some money. You have some money to make a big play for a free agent, should you choose to. Mr. Kim, can I interest you in $10.5 million for the year? Let's hope. Alzolay did start to fall, but I'll pick up that option. Ranger Suarez, I'm not paying $8 million to. I'll give you 3.5 if you'll take it. Okay, apparently Crawford's going to go too. I get first crack at staff. I need a third base coach. Gonna had a worse record this year. I'll go for Hitoki Hayashi. Yeah, why not? Hitoki. You can't be Hitokiing in Japan. They don't like that. No Hitoki in Tokyo. And then you guys needed a manager, pitching coach, and farm director. So Lux qualified, Taylor and Crawford dropped is the word. Again, center field, it'll be a bit interesting. And Robert Sposato will probably take over at shortstop for you guys this year unless you sign somebody else. So a new manager for chat. And Paco Figueroa was your previous manager, and he's still a fantastic manager, especially for defensive purposes. So again, pay him that extra just to make sure he signs with you. Again, pitching coach and a farm director. For the pitching coach, Jackson Keys, who is the guy that you had before. And then a farm director. Brian Zhu. Makes sense. He is 64, but he is still very good. So there we go. That is everything set up for our two teams. Paco's back. Zhu is back. Hayashi's back. Yeah, Razor, I agree. The whole not being able to re-sign coaches thing is weird. Doesn't look like Kim wants to take that offer. I am going to have to max out the interest on him. I still prefer not to lose him. You guys still need an answer from your pitching coach. Okay, Kim accepted. That's good. And there's your pitching coach. So we're off to free agency. Again, a look at chat's team. You still don't have a great go-to catcher, although Tyrone Ray could be the major league starter this year with Duarte behind him. First base, you're good. Vladdy, Jeff Adams behind him, who's a serviceable depth option. Second base, because Gavin Lux is gone, you currently don't have anybody, but you also can't risk signing a second baseman and then having Gavin Lux come back for $23 million. Hello, Crash Andrews. Third base, you still have John Slaughter, who is serviceable. Shortstop, right now it would be Robert Sposato. Left field is Spencer Steer. Center, Floyd Horton, unless you wanted to call up Weber early. So center's a big need. And then Juan Soto in right. So center, shortstop, catcher, positions to think about. You need some bullpen help as well in terms of pitching more than a starter. Like, your rotation's looking pretty freaking good at this point. So that's pretty straightforward. In terms of who's available, at catcher, 30-year-old Henry Davis, Blake Sabol at 32, Tyler Stevenson at 33, Patrick Bailey at 30, also Bo Naylor. First base, Nolan Shanana. I can't see his name and not think of Mills' stream. There's also Michael Bush at 32, Vinny Pasquantino at 32. Second base is 30-year-old Matt McClain. Colt Keith at 28. Then Gavin Lux. Ahmed Rosario at 34. Jordan Westberg at 31. Miguel Vargas at 30. Vaughn Grissom at 29. Bryce Turang at 30. And Leover Peguero, your old friend in Colorado. Third base, Sal Frelick at 29. The Frelick. Miguel Garcia at 30 out of Venezuela. That's probably my guy right there. Edmundo Sosa. Monasterio at 32. Lux secondary positions, everything except for first and catcher. Left field, Evan Carter at 27 years old. Remember when you signed Spencer Steer last year? You probably should have waited for Evan Carter. 27 years old, 97 overall for Evan Carter. Jordan Walker, 94 overall at 27 years old. Wyatt Langford, 28 years old, 93 overall. MJ Melendez at 31. Center field, PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong at 28. Jackson Merrill at 26. Johan Rojas at 29. And Sedan Rafael, I still haven't learned how to say his name, even though he's on the Red Sox, at 29. Curacao does belong to chat as well. Hello, Mr. Hooley. Holy shit, have I gotten boned in the draft lottery? Okay, anyway. Brenton Doyle's also there. And in right, Joey Weimer. The Weimer at 31. Matt Wallner at 32. Gavin Sheets. So chat, you know the position players. Let me know what you think in terms of who you want to target here. You got to figure it out. Do you go for need? Do you go for a player available? For the record, if you were to go for Evan Carter, you would technically have the money for him. He wants $39 million. The max is $40 million. But you do have the money to spend. Because, again, backloaded contracts on Soto and Guerrero, Cease. It's working out pretty well for you. So, yeah, you guys can figure it out. Fire Cora, hire too. I'd be a terrible baseball manager. Terrible. Let's see, your 40-man. You need Avi England. You also need Juan Baroa. On to the 40-man. Gigi Bidet, Gutierrez. Ray Gutierrez. Worse than Cora. I'd probably be worse than Alex Cora, yeah. Edwards, Conrad. You know, I mean, given that Alex Cora played in the majors, it'd probably be worse. All right, that looks good. Arbitration, none of those guys are yours. Can we see the center fielders? Give me 1 second. Tyrone Ray needs a deal. Jeff Long needs a deal. David Tulibitz needs a deal. Charles O'Connor. Molina's not yours. Second base, nobody there. Third base, Dougie Walk. Joel DeYoung. And Albert Ellis. Robert Spasato. At short. Left field, Colin Graves. Center field, Marcus Weber. And Scott Maloney. Closers, Pedro Eliz. Francis Menard. Ray Gutierrez. Peter Otto. Ahmad Munoz. Abraham Eliz is yours. Those two aren't. You got Juan Baroa as a starter. Just fucking give him the offer. Who gives a shit? Avi England. So Pancake, you are only allowed to sign one position player and one pitcher. You have to choose one to target. That's the rule for both of us. Harrison Lowe wasn't yours. He's not good anyway. All right. So, I was asked about center fielders. Again, Peter Crow Armstrong, Jackson Merrill. PCA is 28, Merrill's 26, Rojas at 29, Rafaela at 29. And then you can't get Lee because he is not eligible for you guys. If you were to go for Armstrong, he wants $27 million. Jackson Merrill wants 30. And Sedan wants 20. Again, Evan Carter wanted the near full max contract. Jordan Walker wants about $22 million. Wyatt Langford wants $21 million. Can I check Sabol, the catcher? I sure can. He wants 13. And Henry Davis wanted 12. So while you guys are figuring that out, I'm going to go over here. Let's see. De La Rosa, Davidson. None of those guys are mine that I have to worry about, as far as I know. At least they shouldn't be. Arbitration on Jarvis. Don't need to do it. Catchers. Will Comstock. Going to sign you. Robert Oka. Lincoln Hager. I'll keep around, even though you're bad. Edgar Sanchez was mine. Fernando Rodriguez. Tommy Tran. Chris Delgado was not mine, but Frank Reyes was. Doug Miller wasn't mine. Miguel Perez. Garrett Gentry. Brian Nunez. I mean, if you were mine, it doesn't matter because you're fucking terrible anyway. Logan Davidson wasn't mine. Sam Valley is. De La Rosa's not mine. Luke Gehringer and Anthony Chow. And in right, Domingo Fernandez and Richie Molina. Closers, we got Duarte. Douglas Aceda is a reliever. David Chang. Cronin's not mine. Those guys are. Mr. Orozco, still looking great. Carvajal. Gonna be looking good. Barry Cox. You wouldn't think a guy with that name would be eligible for me, but he is. We got Albert Guerrero, William Koo. Jared Hayes. David Valdez. Superior version. Damn right, Ender. Man of class, I see. All right, chat. I'm going to need a decision momentarily. Oh, man. I need to double check, too. So you got time. I certainly don't need a catcher. Could use a first baseman. Honestly, I just need whatever the hell's whoever the hell the best player available is. So for catchers, I would be looking at Freddie Furman, but he's 34, so First base. Columbia. Was Columbia available to me? Yes. But Harold Ramirez is 35. Second base. First player available to me is Estrada, who's 34. Man, I'm looking at veterans here. Gail Garcia at 30. The old Michael. He's probably my guy. He's at 30. Andrew Monasterio at 32. Simon Garcia is probably the guy. Jackson Holiday is also... Man, Jackson Holiday and Ellie De La Cruz are both out there this year. This is a massive free agent class. Gabriel Arias. Ultimate utility guy. Just doesn't play center field. Interesting. So Arias or Garcia seem to be my best options. What I have in left? Edward Olivares. Center field was Lee at 31. All right. So we got Lee at 31. Seiya Suzuki's too old. It'd have to be Garcia, I think. Yeah, third base, I have Eugenio and Gio. It doesn't play Moreno there. Not that I don't need center field help. I certainly do. I need help everywhere. Garcia, how much money do you want a year? 17 mil? Monasterio. Jesus Christ. I mean, I know he's 32, but he was looking for dirt cheap. Arias was 30 as well, right? 12 mil. He's all defense. And then Lee wants 12. Is Garcia worth paying that extra for? Is the question. 3-time Gold Glove winner. It's pretty good. There is a part of me that thinks I'm making the wrong choice. I mean, just for the fact that Arias can play everywhere. Let's see, third base. I mean, I got Miguel Perez, but he's filler for now. Shortstop, I have Kim. Nobody after him. And then center field. I mean, I got Glenn Camp. Yes, outfield's going to be bad no matter what. Gonna go with my gut on this. Eddie's our choice. Chat made their bed with Steer and left last time. Is that confirmed, chat? Do you have your targets? I am going to go for Mikhail Garcia. Front load this bad boy. $21 million. Front loaded. And I can't afford it. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for it. All right, chat seems to have made their choice for a target. It is Zinedine Zidane, the man from Curacao. In terms of how long of a contract, let me know what you think. Again, if you wanted to do your typical front load things, option for age 35, just to show you what that would look like. If that's what you wanted to do, it would be just over $21 million a year for that max offer. That's the typical contract you guys hand out. Is that what you want? A club option on the age 35 year, front loaded. 6-year payout normal. You could do the payout to normal. Your payroll would only increase by $7 million, under $7 million more for this upcoming year. So, honestly, it wouldn't be that bad. It's not this, like, giant fluctuation. Chat, front-loaded or normal? About a $7 million swing, a little bit under. If you wanted to front-load it. Front-load it so we can get people later. Front-loaded it is. In terms of pitchers, again, you guys needed a reliever more than a starter. It's really not even worth looking at starters. You've drafted a lot of young starters. Look at your starting rotation. Look at the ages of these guys. I'm only trying to convince you to save you from yourselves. You don't need a starter. You just don't. You need a reliever. And in terms of relievers, 35-year-old David Bednar, 34-year-old Alex Lange, 36-year-old Pete Fairbanks, Tanner Scott at 35, Edwin's 36, Moran at 32, Hader at 36, Romano at 36. Michael Kopech at 33, just won reliever of the year. Jojo Romero at 33, Nate Pearson at 33, Joe Barlow 34, Trevor Rogers at 32, Alcala at 34. Suarez is unavailable to you because I'm probably going to sign him. So, options. Some shouts for Kopech. Again, he did just win reliever of the year. Wants under $10 million. So, you know, you could do your typical deal of an option on age 35. It's just over $13 million a year. A 1+1 at age 33 for $13.2 million. Any disagreements on going after Michael Kopech? It's not a bad deal. I mean, a lot of the relievers are older anyway. All right, there you go. So chat's 2 targets are going to be Kopech and Rafaela. Yeah, Rafaela. And who the hell am I going for a pitcher? Is the big question. Because my bullpen was okay. I need a starter. I got some young starters that are close, but I need a starter. Do I have a starter available is the question. Oh, boy. Well, we're down to 80 overalls. Kodai Senga at age 37. fuck? Anybody else? Remember that reliever I talked about? Well, higher the progression, regression late, slow. Correct. It works the same way in NHL. I pretty much got no choice but to go for Jose Suarez. I need a starter, but there's no good available starter. Jose is my best option easily. So Mr. Suarez. Let's see what we can do here, buddy. Tuukka really needs that generational pitcher in next year's draft. I needed him in this year's draft, JD. In this year's draft, not next year's. I'm going to send this deal to Jose Suarez. So again, my two targets are Mikael Garcia and Jose Suarez. So let's see what happens. Also, in terms of the trade block, I can set this up now. Yeah, let's take a look here. So in terms of the trade block, catcher makes sense because, again, you still don't have that crazy good catcher. It's worth putting all three of these guys on the block because, again, they have potentials. You might as well see what you can get. First base, and you could argue you need a first baseman. You got some younger guys here that you could try to flip. You are allowed spring training signings to fill out the roster, but, again, you don't know what's going to be there. You could make an argument for first base being somewhat of a need, but Vladdy's only 31. So, and let me know at the end of this what 5 positions we're thinking here. Or if you disagree, for now we'll put first base there. Second base is I mean, Gavin Lux. That's a must to find somebody. Again, you do still have the will Gavin Lux come back or not situation. Honestly, you need a third baseman too. Shortstop, you got Robert Sposato. I mean, you could look for a better option, but let's be honest, he's your guy in the future. He's your guy. Unless you wanted to try and flip him for somebody better now, you could see what the offers are at least. Left field, you got Spencer Steer. You got Colin Graves in the system. That's not too bad. Center field, you're obviously going for the big signing. Again, it doesn't hurt to see what offers you might be able to get for your best players. Just see. You never know what the offers will be. Any disagreements, I mean, about having those as the 5? Would you want to add relief pitching in there or just kind of leave it as is? And then in terms of the relievers, to be honest, most of these guys, you're probably not going to want to move. I mean, Elise, you could look. Santos, and actually, there you go, you're already out of options. But obviously, pitching isn't necessarily something you're going to want to get rid of right now. So, is there anybody... Maybe not as good. Catcher, second, third, relief, and shortstop. There you go. There you go. So the only thing that you could do is say, like, under no circumstances do we even want to look at what an offer for Vladdy would be. And then you could add certain, you know, relievers who might not be that good. But you could also look to trade someone like Munoz or see what you could get for him at the start of the season. Or even Dylan Cease, if you wanted to potentially move them, you know? So, again, there's a limited amount of people we can add. So, we'll leave it at that, primarily on position players for now. And then for myself, I am going to go the very similar route. So, yeah, like I said, off-season, we could just go with position players for the two of us. Spring training could be the time that we both look to try and move on from pitchers that we might not want to hold on to. See, I am going to take that exact same approach of just what can I get for some of these guys that are either older or not exactly guarantees to make it. Even Glenn Camp. What do we got for pitchers here? Keonis obviously isn't going. Soto isn't going. Alzolay probably doesn't have that good a value. Anybody here? Robert Fujita, if I could move you. And For the starters, I mean, Yamaguchi was only a B. Del VR, who I just drafted. David Valdez, like certain guys like this. If I can move on from them and shortcut my way to higher quality players, then I probably should. Except for Orozco and Jordan. Well, yeah, I can't add Garcia. I'm going to hold on to Del VR, but add Garcia. So for me, biggest needs as we move through the rest of this, I mean, problem is it's everything. I'll take Comstock off the list. I'm not going to put catcher there because I have Comstock. I need a first baseman. That's not Felipe Casillas. I'd need a second baseman. Man. Need a third baseman. Gonna need a shortstop. It's a pretty similar story of just needing too goddamn much. You got to seek left field to get one of the Rockies players. That's exactly what I was thinking too. That is a must for me. Starters also a must. I'm honestly going to take the approach of just going off of what the hell the game designates as my lowest rankings and see how that works out for me. So let's see how these free agent signings pan out. Michael Kopech has declined the offer, and I immediately got a trade from the Phillies. Jesus Christ. All right, well, we missed out on some trades then. Vaughn Brown, are you even eligible? You're not. So Kopech signs a 4-year deal with the Mets. Sorry, chat. Phillies offering me Vaughn Brown again. Phillies, leave me the fuck alone, Philadelphia. Rangers offering you guys a trade. Willie Adames. He's 34, though. For Sposato. Not worth the trade-off unless you thought you could win the World Series this year to bring in Willie. I mean, Sposato is only 23, so... You guys get a trade-off from the Tigers. Diaz as a catcher, but you would have to give up the center fielder, Marcus Weber. You did get Rafaela, though. I don't know why that didn't count as a big signing. Deal a good center field prospect for a veteran catcher after not signing one. Struggled at the plate last year. Maybe not the guy you'd want at catcher, but would you be willing to risk Weber now that you have old Sedan for a while now? It's also a no. Oh, Frank said wait. What's the pitch? What's the pitch? And Weber will be a future major leaguer. As in, gotcha. So let's take a look then. Free agency. I have not landed either of my targets. But you guys did land Rafaela there. You did not get Kopech, though. So, Matthew, what's going on, man? Spencer Strider, 7-year deal with the Texas Rangers. Evan Carter, 7-year max, $40 million a year contract. Easy for me to say, with the Diamondbacks. Nolan Shanana on his way to the Brewers. The Shanuel. Did you check the manual? That was an Eminem rhyme right there. On his way to Milwaukee. Grayson Rodriguez, 6-year deal in New York. There's some big money being spent here. And in terms of the updates on Gavin Lux, he's still out there, but with no offers. So you guys get a trade-off from the Braves. Sposato for Jonathan India, the World Series MVP, but he's 33 years old. Again, that's probably a no. It's not really shortcutting. I'm sure you'd want somebody better than India for someone like Sposato. Yankees offer me a deal. 37-year-old Aaron Judge for Luis Rengifo. Ah, yes. California, South Africa. Yeah, I'm not bailing you out of that contract. Gavin Lux has returned to Vancouver. So Gavin Lux has returned to your team, chat. I am still waiting for fucking answers from these two. These two are waiting for bigger teams to come in for them. That's exactly what they're doing. All right. Put them on the block. I can do that. Honestly, I think we've already seen that we could update some things about the block for you guys. Probably no point in trying to trade Vladdy at this stage. Let's be honest. Might as well free up that spot. Put Gavin Lux on the board. Second base is still there. Outside of that, there weren't too... You might as well take Spasato off the board. Like, you're from the looks of it, you're not going to get the offer that you're going to want to make it worth it. You could put... That's the big question. Do you put Rafaela on the board, or are you like, no, he's our guy? At least for a couple years. Not worth getting rid of Soto right now either. Let's free up some spots for some of these pitchers, just to see what offers you might get. Obviously, you don't want to clear out the bullpen too much, but are there any starters that might be better? Nieves is perfect. Clyde Floyd's pretty good too. There you go. That's a good little setup. We march, still waiting for answers. Hunter Green, 9-year deal in Atlanta. It's a monster contract. Mikhail Garcia, welcome in. Welcome to Atlantis, the newest merman. Gavin Williams, 6-year deal with the Giants. And it looks like I got both of my guys here. I did. Jose Suarez signed as well. All right, not a bad little offseason for me. Not bad. Yankees want to drop Aaron Judge to me. That's not going to happen. I literally can't. The Braves offer you Jonathan India for Clyde Floyd. That would be worth considering had Gavin Lux not come back. Because that would have solved your second base problem right there with Jonathan India. But, yeah, for the moment, probably not the right time to take that deal. Is my guess. Looking at chat for answers. Going once, going twice. No deal. I know people wanted Cease on the board as well, so let's actually go back here. You already got a deal for Floyd. Take Nieves out. Get Dylan Cease up there. See if you can get anything for him. Let's see. We are good to move forward here. I got to trade off from the Phillies. I can't take Vaughn Brown. Leave me the fuck alone, Philadelphia. Sweet Jesus, leave me alone. Blake Sabol, 3-year deal in Cleveland. Bobby Miller, 5 years in Atlanta. Henry Davis, 5 years in Tampa. Michael Busch, 3 years in Cleveland. Colt Keith gets 5 in Cincinnati. Casey Mize, 4-year deal with the Angels. And the Phillies offer me Vaughn Brown again. You know, I should check to see what the price is for that guy. I know you guys were intrigued. Hold on. Not that I'm allowed to do it. Suggest trade. Yeah, call it a hunch. I don't think they'll be doing it. What if I do MLB ready? What if I do prospects? Yeah, they don't have any interest in dealing him to me. I'll see him in 5 years, hopefully. That's my only hope, is to see him in 5 years. Dylan, oh, chat. Dylan Cease for Francisco Alvarez. Reminder, though, Alvarez has that massive backloaded contract. But that would certainly be the guy for right now. Oh, you're right. He is ineligible. He's Venezuelan. Oh, that's a heartbreaker. That's a heartbreaker. You're right. I forgot he was Venezuelan. That's right, because I elected not to sign him. Well, never mind. At least you know that's the type of value Dylan Cease could get you. I don't want Vaughn Brown. Leave me alone. No, I'm not even taking your fucking calls anymore, Philadelphia. You're banned. You're banned from Collision. Joey Wiemer, 6-year deal in Houston. Shane Bieber gets a 5-year deal from the Yankees at age 34. Jesus Christ. Well, that's desperation. Leave me the fuck alone, Philadelphia. Stop. This is harassment. I don't even know what just happened. I hit the button and nothing happened. Fine, I'll look at the... I don't want Von Brown. You fucks. This is insane. This is insane. I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for this. I need time to mentally prepare.